Alright, I'm back. Hello. I fucking hate when they do that. Stupid I gotta remember that. Let me sort, filter, no. How do you sort date created newest first? Did he leak something? Yeah, I fucking doxed myself. Of course I did. You're streaming stuff? I know. Okay, it doesn't look like anyone clipped it. You're the VOD I did already. But yeah, if you're a VOD watcher and you're wondering why this VOD is starting in such a weird manner, I fucking doxed myself, so my bad. Sorry. You guys missed. What do you guys even miss? I talked about the new Sandrone stuff. It's yeah. Mm. Okay, I think I'm just gonna not do that then. My bad. I was watching the VOD. Sorry. Sorry. Um. Yeah, I'll make it like a very unsaturated red and notes. Nicole, motion value added manually in buffed stats. Hmm. And yeah, I guess for the VOD watchers, the context of what we're doing right now is we are currently building a sheet that's gonna show where the power budget allocation for characters is in terms of like how much of their power is in their talent multipliers, how much of it is in their base stats, like what they give themselves, how much of it is in the strength of the stats provided by the supports. And the reason for that is because that can give us an idea of the sort, like which characters are getting less value from supports and are easier to like end up getting buffed in the future, even if they're perceived as being kind of not that great right now. Yeah, in Skirk's case, it's a little bit different because um, a lot of what her supports give is personal damage, right? But I guess I should have support increase. That's probably a really good value here. You could summarize your opinions about Sandrone's kit? Yeah, I can do that. Percentage increase from supports. But yeah, I mean, I'm not gonna like you can read the fucking kit, right? Like I don't need to read it out again. But this is basically just she does a charge attack, and I mean, effectively, like, this is just, she has a resource, but instead of the resource going down until you don't have any of it anymore, it goes up. But it functions exactly the same way, right? Just because it goes up instead of down doesn't change the fact that you have a certain amount of the resource you can use. It's just that the actual resource she's using is the remaining unfilled value of her overheat gauge, right? But you can just think of it as a resource bar upside down, and that's basically what it is. But yeah, so she does a charge attack and it fills up her bar, and when the bar is filled, she can't do a charge attack anymore. And she can use the skill to reduce the current amount that she has in that bar. But it's as if, upside down, it starts full, you can use a bunch of it, and then you can use the skill to fill it back up. This is a really boring kit. It's just like, she does a charge attack, and then she can use the skill to do the charge attack for longer, and the burst is just an instance of damage. So unless there's some cool stuff with the stellar superconductor reaction itself, this is just like maybe the most boring kit they've released in the past few years. Is it? Okay. Who is more boring, actually? Is there a character that's more boring? I didn't love Flynn's kit design, but it was mostly because it was reused from other characters, but the things they reused were at least the interesting things. Like the mini burst stuff, the ways that rotation length can end up varying based on how long you stay on field. Like, there is some cool stuff in there. It's just, it was kind of boring because it was reused. And it was reused from another carry of the same element. So it was, like, kind of boring. And, like, for supports, it's kind of different. Because, like, I think it's fine if a support is more straightforward. Because they don't warp your gameplay experience the same way carries do. Most supports are skill burst swap out anyways. And what's interesting is how that interacts with the playstyle of your carry. So I don't think any support can end up being judged as the most boring unit. Varka's got, like, the combo maximization doesn't matter that much, but it is there. So, like, whatever. Like, it'd be nicer if his passive didn't have a cap on the cooldown reduction for the skill. But, like, whatever. It's still fine. Skirk. I had a lot of issues with Skirk's kit. But a lot of it wasn't because the design was boring. It was because I just don't like team building restrictions that actively rule out units. I talked about it a lot when Skirk came out. I haven't talked about it that much since, but Skirk... I think it's really sad that if you want to play Skirk and your favorite support character is not Cryo or Hydro, you'll have to bench them when you play Skirk. Like, I think that's kind of boring. Like, if their presence on your team makes you do less damage, it's just annoying. Right? But in terms of kit design, like, there's some cool stuff with the alternate rotations that do burst and skill uptime. Like, there is a lot of cool stuff with Skirk. It's just... meh. It's, like, it is what it is, you know? Yeah, and then storing damage for double rotation. Like, Chaska has some cool stuff with her bullets. Kinich. I wish the zones mattered more, and you had more time to react to it. Like, The zone should spawn a little bit earlier so you have actual time to react to it. And the like going into the zone should be necessary for you to do the 5e combos. I think it's kind of boring that you kind of just ignore the zones when you play Kinich. Like, that's kind of ugh. But like, that's for like hyper min-max stuff, and it does like feel good to like see the zone react to it and go there. So like, it's not entirely that boring. Molani base Kit is kind of boring, but because she was the first real forward vape unit we had, the team building interactions she had with other characters were new at the very least. I mean, Planet had some cool stuff. Or like, you know, the Bond of Life, making rotation length variable. Like, that's kind of cool. Gumming, kind of a similar thing to Molani, but for Melt. Navia? Navia might have been the last character that I thought had a kit that was that boring. Like, I hope Stellar, like, the Stellar Superconduct stuff does some heavy lifting in terms of warping team building in an interesting way. Because if it doesn't, this is just such a boring kit. It could, though, right? Like, Navia's team building got a lot more interesting with Lunar Crystallized because geo-application speed actually matters for Lunar Crystallized, whereas it didn't for Navia's release. But we don't know exactly what Superconduct does yet. Or what Stellar Superconduct does yet. So I can't say, like, this is an incredibly boring kit full stop. But it needs the Stellar Superconduct to do the heavy lifting design-wise. Otherwise, it's gonna be kind of a boring kit. Sandrone beta teams literally just shatter. There's zero lunar charge uptime in the team. What do you mean there's zero? How do you know that? I tried simulating with charge attacks Kirk. Yeah, but charge attacks Kirk is not Sandrone. Does Sandrone actually apply cryo very quickly? Like, you know what a character... You know, they actually described, I think in this one, right? Her spinning speed will be similar to Sigwini. Have you ever looked at Sigwini's cryo app on the burst? It's really bad. Or, sorry, Hydro app on the burst. My bad. Hydro app. But also, there was an old leak that said that it was possible that Stellar Conduct would make Cryo and Electro able to coexist. And if they do, then obviously that also changes things. I think it's still way too early to say, oh, that team won't work because Cryo and Shatter and whatever. Like, yeah. Anyways, let's keep going from this. Actually, yeah, let me just do this. Jesus fucking Christ, man. Jesus Christ. Vargas damage is time 5 from the supports. That's insane. My god. Holy shit. I guess technically here, there's actually more Animo damage because of the Nicole coordinated attack stuff. So I should probably change the resistance multiplier, because a slightly larger portion of the damage is now animo. Let's say it's like 3 out of 5 and 2 out of 5. But still. Okay, who's next? We could do Varessa. Do Milani. Milani will be really weird because she's not an attack scaler. So the way that the base stats end up is going to be very different. I want to do a few more attack scalers before I look at the HP scalers. Okay, so Varessa. We do 4E for the Mawika team, and 5E 7P 4E 4P for the Durin team. Rotation length here is 18. Rotation length here is 19. We could do the 5 or 4 and 2/3 E. 6 and a 1/3 P. But I'm not. No, no thanks. Let's just do the slightly longer rotation. It's basically the same DPS anyways. It's a very small difference. Okay, so motion value for this. Okay, this one's also a little bit weird like Varka, where some of the damage percent doesn't apply to everything. So we have to do it separately a little bit. So 126.62. 180.88. So 2 of these. 2 of these. Charge attack, 151.78. And Fiery Passion charge attack, 157.49. That's it for non-plunge damage. Then plunge damage, we have 342.25 times 2. We have 513.88. No, 0.38 times 2. We have 137.03 times, let's say, 3 of them. 3 collision plunges. Why do you even have the resistance multiplier row? Because if we want to quantify the impact of supports on the team, we need to have a row that has resistance multiplier. Because we need to quantify how much you get from the shred provided by the supports. And then the burst, 684.49 times 2. That's it for plunge damage. So it's 80% of her damage is plunge in these rotations. Then in the 5e7p one, we have an extra one of these. Oh, am I stupid? I am stupid. This is times 2. This is times 2. So it's 75% of the damage is plunge. Then this one is 2, 3, 5, no, 4, 3. Then, wait, I forgot the Ascension passive. Oh. So it's 180 and 50. Plus, no. Plus 180 times 2, plus 50 times 2. Okay, it's still at 3/4. Okay. And then this one is... This is 2. This is 3. Is that true? No, I lied. This is 4. This is 3. This is 6. This is still 2. This is 3. This is still 2. So it's also about 3/4. Okay, bet. Okay. All right, stats. Base attack 356. Weapon width 510. Attack percent by default is obviously main stat, substats, ascension passive. Just approximate full uptime on it. It's gonna depend on the team, but good enough. Full uptime on 1 stack. Some teams can get more, but whatever. I guess this one does get more. But it's not times 1.5, it's like 1.25. And yeah, by the way, just so that like things are clear here. Stuff like this where it's directly in the kit, but there's a trigger condition that's like dependent on the rest of your team. I'll include that in the character base kit, not in the buffs. Because we're going at it with the assumption that you are fulfilling these conditions, right? Like the times 2.2 for Varka, for example. Okay. Is that it for attack percent? Any knowers? Any other attack percent? No, there isn't. Okay, bet. 350 total. Yeah. Damage percent. So what do we have for damage percent? We have main stat and we have Linnea. And that's it, right? Yeah. Yeah, it's on C6. This is base. This is before external buffs. Crit. We have Widsith. I forgot the Widsith. He's stupid. Plus 20% attack from Widsith. Plus 16% damage from Widsith. Did you put the Night Soul Burst attack percent? Yeah. And in this team, I'll have the Night Soul Burst attack percent at 1 stack average instead of 1.25. Any M for overload damage? No. We don't need that. Crit multiplier. Yep. Yep. Okay. Then the buffed stats. What do we gain? So if we get Eonson, Shavars, and Mawika, what do we gain? Attack percent, we get Shavars, we get Yonsan C2. We get Power Resonance. That's it. No, that's not it. We're not looking at stellar superconduct stuff right now. That's not what we're looking at. Why is the gap between the two Varka rows so big? Because next patch is very big for Varka. Prune C6 and New Set and Nicole all together are a pretty big deal. I thought you were just comparing combos. I mean, the combo is different because the team is different. Anyways, any other external attack percent buffs I missed? Shavar's set, I guess we could put on Noblesse. 20%, about half uptime. Mawika on Codex, Yonsan on Scroll. 30% from Yonsan C2, 40% from Shavar's, nothing from Mawika. Power Resonance, yeah. That should be everything. In the team with Durin instead. Same thing. We could do Noblesse Durin, but it's very similar, so... meh. Meh. Damage percent. So this is where we get a lot, right? So we get... Oh, wait. Flat attack from Yonsan. 810. 810. Damage percent, we get Shavar's C6. In this team, the average from Shavar's C6 is lower because we spend less time on field. So it's like 45% average, maybe. And like 50% on this one. It's probably a bit more than that, honestly. Whatever. Then other sources of damage percent. There's Eons on C6 on both. There's Scroll on both. There's Mawika, like 25-ish% average, only on the first one. And that's it. And then the res multiplier changes a lot. We have 1.15, so 115% for the Mawika version. And it's what, 75, so 1.325 for the Durin version? No, because it's not Hex Durin. So it's 60, so 1.25. Okay. And I needed to do this, my bad. This makes sense, yeah. Okay, yeah, this makes sense. Genuine question, how is what you're doing useful? The idea is this can help us identify if there are some characters where the reason why they're not that good is because their supports isn't giving them that much. Or if it's because their kit is just too awful and there's nothing to be done about that. That's the idea here. Like, the reason I started this is because someone was asking me about Raiden, and I was like, how exactly am I supposed to explain to someone in a way that they'll actually, like, fully understand that Raiden is just not, like, not a unit that was released in the past 3 years. Like, percentage from even though like a team kind of fake is going to take into account for personal. I mean, that's fine. Like, that's not what we're looking at here. But yeah, like this is not the team's DPS. This is the personal DPS for Verissa here. And you can the main reason for that is so that you can compare it to how other units that provide similar things to the team would compare to one another in here, right? What the fuck is Varka percent? I mean, Nicole and Prune are just very much for Varka. I'm kind of curious about Klein. Klein is weird because, like, some of her motion value is fake. But her total motion value is not that good, right? She's got, like, 5k-ish from the E and, like, 1 to 2k from the burst, right? But it doesn't scale very well with buffs. But yeah, we can look at Raiden. What Raiden combo are we looking at here? Six and 3C. That is not something you can do on Raiden. Her burst does not last long enough for that. You're not doing that. 3 and 3C and 1C. I mean, that's what people did back in the day. I don't know if there's some. Yeah. I don't know. 3 and 3C and 1C. And, like, I mean, we don't actually need to have the combo here. I think what's more important is to have the type of team we're doing. So, like, Raiden and, like, Rational, and Raiden in the hyper focus or hyper type team. Or I guess not Rational, but, like, Raiden. I don't know, like. Because they're like, there's the versions with Durin. So, like, Hexerai. And, like, the fucking Bennett Sarah bullshit. That's probably not what you do now, though. Like, I don't know how the, like, actual full focusing on Raiden personal damage teams are built right now. They've probably benched Sarah for Yonson, right? It's just Overload. Yeah, but Overload is vague. Like, you can still build it in many different ways. The best team is going to be Fischl Durin, but that doesn't focus on her personal damage very much, right? So I want an Overload team that focuses on her personal damage more, but I don't know which team people use. Nicole Durin is her carry team now. That's also kind of fake. Like, I don't know. I think it was Bennett Sarah Chavez. That's what it was before. But I think Yonsan is better. Like, Sarah's just kind of bad. For a unit that's as restrictive as she is for her, like, getting the full value on her buffs, she's just so much... She's not doing enough over Yonsan. Does she maintain the attack buff, or does she get... She gets by with Yonsan cons? The thing is, like, it's not like she's doing any damage anyways. No, but... if I remember correctly, with the cons on Yonsan that allow you to, like, maintain your stuff at the beginning, if you do Yonsan into Raiden, you get over 42 for the burst initial hit. And then if you dash cancel the N3C, you can stay around 42, but it's, like, weird. But you can't do that with Bennett, I think. I guess you could. I don't know. There's a C3 Heraclear with Bennett on Sandrone. Yeah, like, that's what I would expect people are running if they're trying to make Raiden work in Stygian. Suddenly remembered you clowned on me for suggesting Yonsan with Raiden around Yonsan's release. I mean, she shouldn't work, okay? She shouldn't, but she's just that good, so, like, it is what it is. I think Sarah giving crit damage might be bigger than Yonsan's attack. I mean, Yonsan gives more attack than Sarah does, and 40 crit damage kind of just isn't better than 40 damage percent from Scroll. And Yonsan doesn't make your rotations longer, unlike Sarah. So it's like, it's 60, whatever. Like, the cooldown extension from Sarah is actually kind of a big deal. Can we do Raiden C2 too? I want to know how cooked she is now. She was so OP back then. She wasn't OP back then, you just didn't know how to build teams. And that's okay. We grow up. We are better people than we were yesterday. Sarah can run scroll to, yeah, then Yonsan is plus 28, but still, like, it's a lot. And it's also a lot more attack. Anyways, dude, you know, I'm realizing you're gonna have to use Nicole Burst, not because it does anything, but because you need the resolve. And that's kind of making me upset, actually. Oh, God. Oh, man. That's so funny. Oh, God. Oh, God. Wait, what are Raiden's ZR requirements in this team? They're probably pretty fucking high, right? Like, is ER Sans catch enough? I don't know, man. 240 was fine for me with no other Electro? That sounds low. Especially for the first burst. Oh, God. Raiden any arc armaments? Yeah. People forget that Raiden actually needs energy for her burst. Because most of the time people run her with double Electro, and because you pretty much always give her an ER weapon, and very often give her an ER sense, then with Electro Resonance, you generate way more energy than you need. But when you start looking at teams that don't have Electro Resonance, teams that have 3 Pyro, you actually start getting a little cooked. And, like, you also have to remember, the refund only happens after the first burst. So getting your first burst you need more energy to start your first rotation in Sigyn, which is annoying as hell. Right? I don't think it's 28 from Ascension. I think it's 32, no? Yeah, it's 32 from Ascension. $240 was enough when you start with burst for me. $240 in a team like this, I don't think should be enough. Like, maybe if you're doing it against a dummy, so that, like, you're getting extra HP particles that you wouldn't get in Stygian. But, like, I should have an energy sheet open somewhere. Okay. What's her particle generation again? It's been so long. It's 50% on each hit, so in an 18-second rotation, it'll be 9-ish. She's on field for, like, 8 seconds. So let's say for... Irrational 210 is literally enough. In Rational, you run her on 5. So you don't need any. Wait, wrong one. That is not an energy sheet. Am I stupid? It kind of had the shape of an energy sheet, but it wasn't an energy sheet. Uh-oh. Oh. It's literally right next to the other one. Okay, bad. 4, 5. Okay, what does your rotation look like here? You're probably doing Raiden E, Shavers, Nicole, Durin to get the extra Hexarite proc on Durin himself, right? So TDDS Nicole, but you don't want to do 20-second rotations. I don't think that's good. Also, I think Raiden and Durin should have basically the same damage. So half uptime TDDS on half of your damage is not good. Like, that's really not good. So I'm pretty sure it's not TDDS. You probably don't need to have Durin catch his own particles, though. So you can probably battery Durin's particles into Raiden. Or you're probably doing EQE Durin into Raiden Burst. And then you have the Nicole particles and the Showers particles. Honestly, the Fav is kind of going to be a big deal here, right? The Fav on Showers. So 2, 3. Raiden. Refund. Oh, right. This shit is annoying. It's 7, and then each 100% increases that by 60% past 100 base ER. For now, let's say 250. So that's... Alright, 2 point... Wait. That's 90%. So 1.9 per refund, and you get 7 of them. 1.9 times 7. Because if I actually put a formula in there, there's going to be circular reasoning, and it's going to be annoying. I'll just adjust it manually. Okay, that's really not that bad. Why is it not that bad? I guess you're using characters that generate good energy. Like, in my head, Wouldn't it be way more for the refund? No. It would actually be less if this is the amount of ER you're building. It'd be like 1.6. I remember it being like 25. It's not 25. She refunds more energy on Sig. But the amount of refund she has is based on her ER. And it's like... Oh, wait. Am I stupid? I am stupid. No, wait. You're right. Each... Wait, I'm actually just dumb. It was 4 years ago. Yeah, dude. I mean, listen. When's the last time anyone's given a fuck about Raiden? Oh, it's 5 times, not 7. Why did I think it was 7? So it's 12.5 base. I'm dumb. Okay, yeah. So the ER requirements are not a problem then. Okay. I'm actually very surprised by that. Alright, well, I guess the energy is not a problem. Okay. So, how much resolve do you have in this team? Shavar's is 60, Fischl is 60, Duran is 70. Okay, so burst is 681.36. One hit is 75.24. We get 4. 2 hit is 73.93. We get 3. 3 hit is 90.52. She gets 3. Charge attack 103.6. She gets 4. And 125.06. She gets 4. Although, let's be real, when you play Raiden, you always fucking accidentally cancel the charge attack early. Tell me I'm not the only one who does that. So you miss one of them. True. Then how much resolve do we have? So its default is 0.2 per energy, but we also get 12 from this, and more like 10 from this. So 10 total resolve, right? We get 10 plus 20% of the energy. Did she generate resolve from her own burst? I forgot. No, she doesn't. Okay. So 60, 60, and 70. Don't say it. 48 resolve average. So plus 48 times. Each point of resolve is 7% on the initial hit. And 1.31 times the total amount of hits, which is 4, 10, 18. And then we also have the skill itself, which is 199.24 and 71.4 times like 17, I guess. And this one is a little weird because we're gonna have to like split stuff in a weird way. Right? So wow, she is Marissa level real. So true. So the amount of damage that is burst damage is about 3/4. Okay? In this team, Nicole burst is also 60, right? Alright. And then stats. So 337. She's on the catch. ER with catch, emblem. You kind of still need ER Sands, honestly. No, you don't. Maybe you don't. I don't know. Are we going ER Sands or not? Like, you'll be fine on your second burst. Oh, I guess with Fischl you never will, but for Nicole, maybe you do. Like, you should be fine without ER Sands after your first burst, but the first burst will be delayed by so much if you go attack Sands. So we probably go ER Sands anyways. And the value of attack is lower because we have external buffs. More external buffs. Cash plus emblem, 2 beats plus ascension gives a lot. Yeah, you get like 90 something baseline. Alright, it's 45.9. 32.20. It's 97. You get 36 from sacrifice. Yeah, no, you don't. Okay. Alright, damage percent. So we have. Let's do 220 ER attack Sands with Fischl. And 270 ER ER Sands with Nicole. So. Oh, wait, this is. Let me. View. Freeze pains. Freeze pains. There we go. Attack percent. What do we got? We got attack goblet, I guess. Wasn't her your regular less than 200. Again, that's with the refund from her burst. Without the refund, good luck getting your first burst. Because it's not just the refund from the burst that it generates energy during the burst. It's also the skill that's still going during her burst that generates energy during her burst. So if you don't go ER Sands, your first burst is delayed by like fucking 20 seconds. It's bad, bad. Um, Anyways, so percentage, we got attack goblet. Is there anything else that's baseline, just substats? That's it, right? Then damage percent? No, this one was attack sands with Fischl. It was attack sands. So are we double attack main stat? Probably. Damage percent, 220 times 25. Then 120 times 60%. Damage percent is better. Yeah, I guess you have a lot of external attack buffs in these teams. They should be pretty close. I'll look at both. Just pick whichever one is better. Is that it for damage percent here? It is, right? She just has the set and her passive, and that's it. No, the catch. 32. Crit value. We do not have crit ascension. Uh-oh. Catch is 12%? 12% times 2. But that's only to the burst, which is about 3/4 of the damage. And also, this is only to the burst, which is 3/4 of the damage. And this is only to the burst, which is 3/4 of the damage. Good multiplier. Yeah. Yeah. So our baseline is way lower. Isn't Raiden's damage all burst damage? When you just look at the motion values, there's actually about 1/4 over motion value that's from this skill. When you look at the total output, because so much of the buffs you give her only affect the burst, then more than 3/4 of her damage are from the burst. But I mean, that's what we're looking at right now, right? That's what we're adjusting for. Only 1.5k behind Varka. Oh, you mean for base stats? I mean, sure, but her motion value is quite far behind. What's that we're using on her emblem? Anyways, base stats in this team should be exactly the same, right? No, that's not true. Because now we need the extra ER. Which means our total ER goes up. It's not that much worse, but it is a bit worse. Goblet comparison. I need to look at the post-buff stats to do the goblet comparison. So, okay. What are the buffs we get in this team? We get Fischl 45. We get Showers 40. We get Power Resonance. That's it. For damage percent, we get Showers C6. And it's a pretty bad average value because Raiden's damage is very front-loaded. So 40% from Showers C6. And we get... Should we look at Bounty still? I guess, right? Oh yeah, I guess support sets. Noblesse. That's it. Sure. Or not bounty, sorry, gift. Whatever. Gift. Bounty. Whatever. Same thing. And then is there anything else? Cinder City. I mean, I guess we could do Cinder City instead of Noblesse. Sure. Because Noblesse won't be full uptime anyways, so that's what we should do, you're right. Plus 12%. Is that it? Scroll, gift, Chavars. Official doesn't give anything, Durin doesn't give anything. TOM unofficial? Nah. Golden Troop will be better. The res with Durin is gonna be 1.325. 132.5%. Yeah. This... Honestly, this is higher than I thought it would be. Like, compared to the other characters, it's pretty fucking abysmal, but it's higher than I thought it would be. Takeaway is that she's not bad, she's not bad support, thoughts. The biggest issue with Raiden is that she has a lot of self-stat buffs, but those self-stat buffs are the same stats that the good supports buff. Because she doesn't have crit ascension, because her weapon options don't tend, like her really good weapon options don't tend to have a lot of crit on them, because the supports she has access to, other than Sarah, which is just not very good, don't give crit, you're saturated in the stats provided by the good supports, and you're very unsaturated. Like, look at her crit multiplier. It's so much lower than everyone else. And on top of that, her motion value is kind of embarrassingly low, right? Like, her motion value is the same as Quick Swap Verissa. Right, this is 4E Verissa. This is not a lot of field time. And you're getting the same output with all of Raiden's stuff. Alright. Anyways. Next up, we copy for this one. Okay, this one's gonna be a little weird. The attack percent. We lose the sands. We gain the ER. Okay. Then we lose Fischl. Which is 45. To be fair with Raiden, she has low field time. She really doesn't. Like, the duration of abilities is small, so you'd think she has low field time, but she also has pretty long hit lag, and you do make up of the hit, you do use the hit lag extension to get all of your attacks out. So her actual burst duration is longer than this, and the duration starts at the end of the burst animation, so you have to add the burst animation and the skill animation, and her actual field time is like 11 point something seconds. I'm actually curious in the GC sim rotations how long she stays on field. Maybe surely if we sort by DPS, the highest team will be Raiden carry team, right? C6R5 Raiden Hyper, 118k. Oh boy. Let's see how long she stays on field. So you swap to her at 8.3, and you swap out of her at 18.3. So frame perfect GC sit is 10 seconds of field time. In practice, likely more like 11. But like that's pretty high. That's longer than Klein with the burst. Anyways, okay, we gain some flat attack. It's gonna be like 550 from Nicole in this team. Similar to Mawika in field time. No, she has generally more field time than Mawika. It's not that much more. I mean, it depends on the Mawika, but like if you swap as soon as the burst is over on Mawika, your field time is lower. But you don't swap as soon as the burst is over because even non-burst buff Mawika is still generally more DPS than the other things you could be doing. So like, yeah, fair character. Okay, so what do we lose here? We lose Nicole and that's it, right? And then, or we lose Fischl attack percent and that's it. And then we gain the Nicole attack buff. And I guess the motion value, we only get 3 procs of it, right? 171% times. So it's 57 divided by 52. Plus times 57 divided by 52. Yeah. Yeah, it's yeah. Would our 5 sacrificers be good? Yeah, I mean, our 5 sacrificers, like, it's just a fuck ton of stats, so of course it would be good. Yeah, like, I haven't actually looked at it yet, but apparently our 5 sacrificers is actually better than Sig. Like, I can believe it. It's just a fuck ton of stats. And her Sig is kind of meh. But whatever, we're not looking at Sig stuff anyways, and our 5 gotcha weapons are basically just Sig stuff. It's Chivalrous, it's Overload. For the last lot. It is actually really funny. Like, I expected this to be higher in this one. But I guess the reason why this team is good is not because Nicole is a better buffer for Raiden than Fischl is. It's because Nicole buffs Durin and Fischl doesn't. Oh god, that's so funny. That is very funny. Um, isn't this only personal damage? Yeah. Yeah, but I expected the gap to be bigger when you swap from Fischl to Nicole, but I guess it isn't. Can you do Yulin next? I don't know. Guards. Need a Spotify playlist? Exclamation mark playlist. Please do Eula. I mean, I will do Eula, but not yet. There's like, I want to do the more relevant characters first. We can't really do the Lunar stuff yet, because Lunar compares differently. We can do Mawika. So what in the fuck are we gonna be assuming for combos on Mawika? We're gonna do just spin Mawika. Mawika. Overload. C8F. God.
Managing an orchard.
I have to figure out how much charge attacking you can actually do outside of the burst. Travis cutting a bit of the team name. I'll move it to the right a little bit, or to the left a little bit. Like, I play the Overload Mawika teams based off of vibes, so I don't actually remember how long you can actually spend on each character. Or, like, on Mawika before the stuff is ready. So, this...
I'm all warmed up. Try and stop me. Incinerate.
Yeah. So...
Stop right. Tell me what you see. Controlled breathing.
We EQ, then just 8C. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Finisher. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
Final warning. Time to say hello.
Plus 6.
Quick as a flash. Rise with the sun.
For an 18-second rotation. 3,
3,
4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Finisher. 2, 3, 4. I guess it's 5.
Stop right there. Go. You're free now. Not too far. Start the burn it down. Pyroclastic
Yeah, it's 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Finisher. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Drop your weapon. Tell me what you see.
Yep. So we have exactly enough time for that here if we don't do any sort of cancels. And if you want to be smart about it, you do the 5 charge attacks before the burst. You might be able to do 6 if you do that then, right?
Time to say hello. Farewell. Start the...
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
Light of the blazing sun.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Finisher?
Final warning. Go.
No.
You're free now. Be free. Quick as a flash. Full throttle.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, we do 5. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Finisher?
Stop right there. Time to say hello. Farewell. Faster.
Yeah, okay.
Stronger.
So let's just do 5 plus that. So C5, Q, EC5, QC8F. That way you get the Chevrolet C6 to be basically maxed out before you burst, instead of stacking it up after the burst during the lower damage portion of your rotation. So motion value, if you do this, E 126.48. Charge attack 181.7. Times 13. 252.8. 756.16. And 200 times 2.72 plus 0.95 times 8. Right? And I guess if you don't do any dash cancels, you'll have some Night Soul left for some of these. Probably like 4 hits. 217.6 times 4. Sure. Rotation length is 18. Base. Joy. So true. 359. Serpent Spine. Attack percent. So she gets 30% attack from her passive. She gets main stat. And that's it. Without external buffs, I think. Damage percent. We get 15 from Codex. Like 30 average from her passive. Main stat. Is there anything else? I don't think so, right? Also, what's the team gonna be? It's just Oron, right? Yeah. Crit value, and this is where... Yeah. So, crit ascension, main stat, substat, weapon, 27.6 times 2, and then codex. Yeah. It is actually kind of funny. This is, like, really not that good, huh? Yeah. Like, no cancel Mawika is, like, pretty heavily reliant on melts for the damage. Without melt, you lose out on a lot. Anyways, buffed stats. She does get a lot of buffs, though. Like, that's the main reason why you play Overload Mawika, but you don't really play, like, just Mono Pyro Mawika. It's because the units you use just give you a lot. So, attack percent with external buffs. So we have Power Resonance, we have Shavar's 40%, we have Eon's on C2, we have Aura on C6. Mawika on release, worst power creep of all time, 1 year later, that's not that good, huh? I mean, that's not the case here. Like, this is playing a team that is reliant on combos without the combos. Like, it's like playing N3 Sethos. Like, you're not doing that shit. Like, be so for real. Anyways, yeah, you get a Noblesse. Noblesse is basically full uptime for her, actually. Because it's on Eon-san. You also get a Song of Days Past, but, like... I'm not dealing with that shit, man. I don't know, let's say 5% average, or equivalent attack percent from Song of Days Past, but I can't be bothered actually adding 83 lines for it. Because, like, that's what you have to give Shavar's in that team, right? She doesn't have another set. You already have Scroll, so you can't give her a Scroll. You already have Noblesse, so you can't give her Noblesse. So it's just only Song of Days Past. That's so cooked, man. Oh, well. Other attack percent? Is there anything else? No, right? Yeah, no. Flat attack, we get a 10. Damage percent, we get Eon-san Scroll and Eon-san C6. Well, I guess it's Oron Scroll and Eon-san C6. Shavar's average at like 55 in this team. Anything else? I guess no, right? I guess not. Crit doesn't change, and then resistance multiplier. Oh my god. Resistance multiplier is just 115. Okay. And then we can take a look at actual optimized Mawika combos. I'm not sure exactly which combo I should be using. So it's probably not going to end up being like the best possible combo, but it'll be good enough, so who cares?
Incinerate!
And in order to figure it out, I think I should like intentionally do something bad here. So I'll open with this.
Drop your weapon. Tell me what you see. Not too far now. Controlled breathing.
Okay, I guess that's just what we do, right?
Incinerate! Incinerate! Final warning! Go! You're free now! Farewell! Quick as a flash! Try and stop me!
Yeah, okay, fair enough. So we do 1, 2, wait, so it's 1, 2, then 2 F into burst. And then with the burst, it's 1, 2 into F. Then what is it after that? I gotta
Light of the blazing sun.
1, 2 into F. 1 into F. 1 into F. Yeah. And then if you're really good at it, you'll get the last 2 hits buffed. But and I think you can even get more than that after that, but I'm not good enough at it. And I don't want to look at fucking frame perfect Karen only stuff. I want to look at the sort of combos that are somewhat replicable. So it's 1 2 F, 1 2 or 1 2 F, 1 F, 1 F. Missing like 2 burst hits, I guess. 2 burst buffs. I'm gonna sneeze. So Maoika CDC with what was it? It was C, DC, DCCF before burst, and then during the burst it was CDC, DCCF, DC, DCCF, DC, DCCF. And this is the part that was burst buffed. Right? So we get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 buffed charge attack hits. Nine C, 2 F, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 C, 2 F that are not buffed. Ugh. With how many Ds? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 Ds. D's nuts. Haha, got him. But yeah, for this one, it's the exact same team, it's just the combo that's different. So all that changes is the motion value. So this is E cast. This is E off field. We'll get like 1 hit because we're using the Night Soul to dash. Right? Why not look at Melbourne? We go, we'll do that as well. Don't worry. But we get 126. That's the E cast. Then charge attacks. We get a total of 14 now. Finishers. We get a total of 4 finishers now. We now get dashes, which we didn't get before. Dash is 148.52. 148.52 times 8. Then burst. Then buffed charge attacks during burst is 11. Yeah. Yep. Okay. Next we can look at Melt Maoika, I suppose. Honestly, this might be a bit low. Did I forget anything? Maybe I did. Maybe I'm stupid. I feel like I didn't, though. I don't know. Okay, Malika. Melt. 8C. Or I guess C8. Slash. Or C4, JC4. And Malika. Melt. C3F. D. CFD times 3. I guess those are the combos we're going to look at. Oh boy, and now we gotta fucking include melt stuff, so we're gonna have to have the adjusted EM multiplier. Is the first section just personal buffs? Yeah, this is what you do if you play the character solo, basically. Although, like, with Malika, it's solo, but, like, assuming you get 9 soul anyways, but, like, without looking at any of the buffs provided by other characters. Why not CFD times 2? Because this is better. Or C3FD times 2, yeah, because this is better. It's pretty close, but basically, you melt a finisher instead of a normal charge attack. Other than that, it's basically the same. Okay, so now we gotta do the adjusted EM bullshit. So in order to do that, we need to have all the multipliers. We got... Okay, what's not melted? What is melted? So we get 8 total on the C. No finishers. No dashes. Burst. 8 buffed. And then 6 off-field skills. This is the total motion value before looking at any of the reactions. 4 of these are melted. This is melted. 4 of these are melted. None of these are melted. This is not melted. And obviously it gets multiplied by 2. Because of the melt. 4 of these are melted. We don't get the burst initial hit. We don't get the burst initial hit for this. 4, yeah. So the elemental mastery multiplier will only affect 65%. Let's just round it to 2/3 of Malika's motion value. Which means that the adjusted EM multiplier will be the EM multiplier on melt on 65% of the damage plus 35% times 1 because that doesn't get increased. And then the EM multiplier is 25 divided by 9 times EM divided by 1401 plus EM plus 1. And no, you melt 1 Mawika skill with Sitlali. Sometimes you do. I guess. Sure. You can say you melt 1. But it's still about 2/3. Okay, this is the total motion value. Rotation length, still 18. Motion value per second. And, like, this is how you can tell, like C8 Mawika is as much motion value as fully min-maxed Overload Mawika, basically. Like, it's... Melt is very powerful, it turns out. Anyways, base stats here are basically exactly the same, right? Because you're doing Bennett Sitlali instead of Chevreuse Oron. But that just affects the buff. That just affects the buffed stats, not the base stats. The one difference is we probably don't run attack sands, right? And instead we run EM sands, 187, and then 80-ish from the substats. All right. Okay. And then the buffed stats. Probably just... Okay. So what are the buffs we get? On attack percent, we get Bennett buff. From Power Resonance, we get the Eon Son. We get TTDS every other rotation. Is there any other attack percent buff we're getting? Not really, right? Wait, Shilonen? Did I say Shilonen? We're not getting Shilonen. We get Noblesse. Hello, Sandrone. True. And yeah, we're just gonna running double scroll here because it's kind of fake to run other sets on Sitlali in this team. You don't generate enough particles to run Instructor, and TOM is like, ugh. And yeah, Noblesse is like... I guess you can technically do Noblesse on Instructor Bennett, but that's pretty bad uptime on Instructor, so whatever. And then 21% divided by 2-ish for not full uptime on Noblesse. Is there anything else for attack percent? No, right? It's just all flat attack. 810, 1050. Damage percent, we get Scroll, we get Eonson C6, we get Bennett C6. That's it? Question mark? Exclamation mark. It is it, I think. Right? Right. Elemental Mastery, we don't get any external buffs here. And then Resistance Multiplier is 105%. All right. Yeah, like this feels low for Mount Mawika, but this is fucking C8. Like, of course it's low. This is not a good combo. Okay, and then this one is going to be a little bit different, so I have to also do the split for the combos. So we're getting 3. We're getting 6 normal charge attacks and 4 finishers, right? So out of those 6 normal charge attacks, only 1 is melted. And 5 are not melted. We are getting the finisher, which is 252.8. And all of them are melted. And we get 4 finishers. We're getting some unmelted dashes. 148.52. And we get 4 of those. No, 3 of those. What is he calcing? I'm looking at a bunch of different carries and how their damage is coming from different sources, whether it be like having access to better buffers, buffing their own kit, or just having higher motion value to begin with. Because I feel like it'd be helpful to have something that I can refer to for like how well someone can, like a character would benefit from upgrades in like a team slot, just giving like significantly stronger buffs or something like that. Anyways, surely that means you're saving the sheet, Klugi. Okay, wait. I got distracted. What was I doing? So, we got the charge attacks, the finishers. Okay. We're now getting... It's still 5 here, right? Or 4, I mean. Yeah, it's still 4. I guess that's it then, right? No, we have 1 extra burst buffed unmelted charge attack in this combo. Okay. And... it's now 2/3 exactly, basically. It was already about 2/3, right? I think that's what I used to begin with for the adjusted EM. I did 65. Whatever. Isn't that 4 dashes? You don't actually do the dash at the end. So technically this is the notation, but it feels weird to have D before C on your rotation. And I don't want to have CFD times 2 plus CF. It's just annoying. Whatever. I'm an idiot, though. This is the total motion value, and I didn't fucking adjust it because I'm dumb. Anyways. And this is what it's at. Yeah. Like, this makes sense, right? This is more or less where Melt Mawika ends up with the more optimized combos that are still not too difficult. Seeing 80k Mawika feels wrong. Yeah, I mean, this is, again, Overload Mawika without any sort of cancels is really bad. You shouldn't play that. There's a reason why no one fucking played anything other than reaction Mawika until the combos got popular. Because it's really bad. The higher the support percent number, that means the current supports are harder to replace. Generally, but there's some exceptions, like... You look at Skirk, the reason why the percentage increase from supports is relatively low is because the supports that Skirk has are focused on personal damage. A lot more than the supports that Mawika has. Right? This is basically the Mawika team DPS because Yansan, Bennett, and Sitlali are doing nothing. This is not even close to what the Skirk team DPS is. Right? This still feels kind of low, man. Is it really that low? And that's crazy. Kirk is like 70 to 75% of her team compared to Mawika's like, oh, she is not 70. Let's be so for real. Like, your top 1% Skirk with bottom 3% Escoffier probably is at 70. That doesn't mean she's supposed to be. Yeah, she's supposed to be closer to 60. But, oh, you have Escoffier Sig makes Skark do more as well. Her combo should skew her more to around 70. Yeah, like, it's like 70 is an upper bound. But that's probably with, like, Scroll Escoffier. Escoffier Sig is insane for her own personal damage, though. It's not really that good. Because with Sig, you need ER Sense, and probably some ER substats, too. Like, Fab is actually a good weapon for Escoffier personal damage when you account for how high her ER requirements are without it. What's the strongest hypothetical for same character team? Just had this random thought. It's a good question. Skirk would actually be pretty decent, right? You just hold these Skirk, hold these Skirk, hold these Skirk, hold these Skirk. Go back to the first Skirk, hold the burst. Second Skirk, hold the burst. Third Skirk, hold the burst. Fourth Skirk, hold the burst. And you just repeat that. No rifts, that's why you do 2 holdies. You have time for 2 holdies per burst cooldown. 4 Mawikas? No, 4 Mawikas wouldn't be that good. Like, a lot of Mawika's damage is concentrated in either the initial hit if you react it, but otherwise it's a lot into the charge attacks during burst uptime. And 4 Mawikas doesn't have that many charge attacks during burst uptime before you swap out, so you don't get the full value from that. And you also don't get the value from reacting the burst, so it wouldn't be that good. First rotation is scuffed. First rotation, you start with a tappy on everyone, I guess. But that's... Ugh. I guess that means your first burst is delayed by an extra 7 seconds. Four llamas against Tulpa. True. Does that mean one of the Skirks runs Noblesse? Probably, yeah. Skirk 170% more damage specifically says other than Skirk. Oh, really? Oh, that's cooked then. She's gimped. Fuck, who would be good then? Four Yolans. Four Yolans would be pretty good. Would Navia get the bullets from other Navia's bursts? This effect can be triggered up to once every 2.4 seconds. Is that would that be shared by the individual Navias? Probably, right? Nah, you probably can't Omega abuse this. What about Farina? Farina doesn't do enough damage. Honestly, Linnea would be good. Wait, Linnea would be really good, right? Because this doesn't say it doesn't stack with itself. So you would get an extra 56 multiplier. And you just do the nuke E on all four of them. All of them on sack. Do the nuke E on all four of them and then do it again. Oh, I'm stupid. Wait, no. Does this effect get... Does this effect apply even if you don't trigger hydrocrystallize? Because I feel like it would from the wording. It does, yeah. Like that's what I've been assuming for my non-hydro stuff with Linnea, that she gets the 14% on the nuke. For Yon Sans? No, that wouldn't be very good because she doesn't really have motion value. Please calc 4 Linneas. I mean, I'm kind of down. So... I mean, I don't think you would do sack stuff because the micro would be fucking impossible. Well... You probably do with 2 of them. Or like... No. I think the micro with quadruple sack Linnea would be a bit cooked. Show up on TV and screens as hers doesn't. Can you help her after you're done streaming? I have no fucking idea how it works. I'm gonna be honest with you. I set it up like a year, 2 years ago, and if it breaks, I won't know how to fix it. So I don't know if I'll be any help. But I mean, I can try. I can try, but don't expect much from me. Anyways, Linnea base defense percent, flat defense, total defense. What sets would we have? Do we need to trigger? Like, we can't proc Instructor. Can we proc? We can proc, We can proc Serenade, right? Yeah, we can proc Serenade. And then the other three... Sky can't really work unless you go sack, and the sack macro sounds very unpleasant. Are we pretending 4 Lumis can exist? Because in co-op it doesn't. I mean, it doesn't matter because the geo damage is fake anyways. It's just the nuke, right? Um... So... Linnea 1, Linnea 2, Linnea 3, Linnea 4. Prune is aggravate upscale for client. That makes sense, yeah. EM multiplier. Damage percent. Crit value, crit multiplier. E defense, lunar crystallize. Motion value, lunar crystallize. Damage, lunar crystallize. Damage, time, DPS. Okay. So Linnea base defense. 907. Defense percent. We probably just have triple husk and one one Serenade, right? You should get the buff from all of your Linneas, right? Oh man. Okay. So we get 54 from Husk. We get we get 58.3 times 2 from main stats, like 30 from subs. And that's it. EM. So baseline, basically nothing, but we get plus 5% of her total defense. I mean, I guess we could just do this plus this plus this plus this. Right? And then copy this, but the fourth one is on Serenade. So we don't have the Husk 4-piece. We also get the Serenade passive, plus 120. This one... Yeah, we still have the same amount of EM here. Yeah, multiplier is 1.56, because we get 14 from all 4, times 6 times EM divided by 2000 plus EM plus 1 plus 10% from the 4-piece Serenade. Is there anything else? I don't think so. Damage percent, we get 24, 24, 24, and 0. Crit value, crit ascension, 62.2, 20 times 6.6. Slingshot. That's it. Crit multiplier, Effective defense. Effective defense, lunar crystallize instead of damage percent. We have EM multiplier. Motion value. For now, we'll assume that you actually do get 4 Lumies. We'll also take a look at what happens if you only get 1. In 18 seconds, you get 4 hits from Lumi after nuke, right? So it's 170? No. 163.2 times 2 times 4. Motion value lunar crystallize. It's times 1.6, right? So 680 times 1.6. This times what? Does this passive stack? I guess if we assume that the Lumies, like you get 4 Lumies, it does, and if we assume that it doesn't, then it wouldn't. Let's take a look at what happens if it does stack. So it's 120 res shred. So it's 110, so 1.55. And then this. So for Linnea is the 125k. Oh my. That's pretty funny. Now, what if it's against Tulpa? That's a lot more. It'll be a lot more, but we don't need to look at that. Like, it's fine. I think this is just funnier. Anyways, I got distracted. I want to get back to this. 4EI would go hard, Kluge. Four Linnea's as good as 1 cost 9. Okay, fine. I'll fucking look at it. Whatever, man. Biggest offender of the next patch is not Nicole, is a new set and Prune. Quicken is the major beneficiary of this, as in this new team. Sucrose's EM buff is not as valuable as damage percent buffs. TF in this variant is always better for Fischl. For Fischl. Or like, is TF is there for Fischl, but it's not TF for, like, on Fischl. Yeah, okay. It is, okay, yeah. That's what I thought. Okay, bet. Dude, why are there 3 pixels here? With this, Cloyd is the second best 1 cost carry in the game. But C6 Prune is a bit fraudulent. I mean, that's not better than Molani, right? But I guess Mona... I don't know. I feel like you can't assume C6 Prune and exclude Mona. You know, like I'll allow some amount of flexibility when it comes to assumptions for what counts as cost with characters and shit, but like C6 Prune counting as not an extra cost, but Mona counting as an extra cost sounds wrong. Because I'm pretty sure C0 Mona is enough to beat this. Okay, wait. So what are these different things? Okay, this is Eshu Kirara versus Finale Nahida. Even star. Okay, that's okay. Um, Official Q Kirara Prune Chlorinde 5 and 3E. Official E Kirara Prune Chlorinde 5 and 3E again. Okay. Slight improvement. Oh, this is much higher quality. Thank God. Okay, so this is with 6 and 3E. Do we have time for all of this in a 25-second rotation? When I looked at the TFCO and stuff, mostly I was looking at teams that didn't need to swap back to the Dendro. I feel like this doesn't fit in 25 seconds. Kirara is really quick. I mean, you can be quick all you want, but you're still limited by swap cooldown. In these 25-second rotations, the amount of swaps is just really high. Right, like, we have from Fischl, we have swap to Prune, swap to Kirara, swap to Prune, swap to Chlorinde, swap to Fischl, swap to Kirara, swap to Prune, swap to Chlorinde. And then swap back to Fischl. 9 swaps per rotation. That is a lot. Right? Most, like, default 18-second rotations generally only have 4 swaps. This is more than double and much less than double the time. It's like, if you have any amount of ping at all, you just can't play this character, man. It's fucking crazy. Echoes doesn't work at high ping. Her fucking Bond of Life doesn't work at high ping. She swaps 30 times per rotation, which doesn't work at high ping. Like, my god. Poor Clyde. But, like, I would expect this in practice to be more like 26 seconds. Or 27. Don't say it. But I don't really play with Kirara, so maybe I'm underestimating, or I'm overestimating the amount of time it'll take. It's just, when I was doing the rotations with Duran, that only did 1 swap to Emily, 1 swap to Duran, I was still, like, pretty much exactly on the 25-second mark. Sometimes going over it. And 1 swap to a 5-star with a burst animation is generally shorter than 2 swaps to a 4-star. Please check the emote. That's a pretty good one. You can add it. I don't know if we're full right now, but for some reason it's asking me to sign in. Sucrose and overload. So what were the calcs out before for these things? 95k with official sucrose. 103k with TF. Okay, so 103k for this one. 97k for overload. But that's not the right rotation for it. Yeah, I guess you don't have full uptime on Celestial Gift, huh? So, unless you do even one more swap. Ooh. Does that mean you can't do the TF stuff? But the TF stuff is so much better, so I guess you're kind of just cooked, right? Yeah, I guess you just have half uptime on Celestial Gift. Or maybe you try to intentionally swap back to Fischl after 11 seconds instead of 12, so that Oz is still out and you can recast it before it expires. Wait, big tech. Big tech. Holy tech. Insane. Hmm. Dude, I kind of want to do a client calc where you have like 30 ping client and 100 ping client. And you just have 100 ping client like 30% behind. That would be so funny. Oh. Hmm. Okay. Who's next? BNFF lens. You can't really compare the lunar stuff because the it ignores defense. So it's like weird. It's very weird. Like the formula just works very differently. So it wouldn't tell you much in a comparison like this one. Milani. The formula isn't different from Milani, but the base stat scaling is, which also changes things. So it's kind of weird. But we can look at Milani next, I guess. Or maybe let's look at Neuvillette before Milani. Have an HP reference for characters that don't trigger reactions. So, Neuvillette. Which Neuvillette team, though? Let's do the Hyper Neuvillette. Okay, why would you do this to me? Okay. There we go. What's gonna be less bothersome? font being one down in size, or the column being slightly wider. I don't know. This is probably less noticeable, right? Yeah, okay, but yeah, so Neuvillette is 13.45. In a hyper, you have Farina, so it's 2 stacks times 1.25 or 125%. And you get 32 of them. And then you get 21.87 times 2. And 37.84 plus 15.48 times 2. Oh my god. Neuvillette motion value is so low. What the hell? This character sucks. 600 motion value instead of 10,000? Power creep has gone too far. 26 motion value per second? Disgusting. Oh, oops. Neuvillette base, 14,695. Percentage, baseline on Neuvillette. In a hyper. What weapon are we giving him? It feels so fake to give him Proto Amber when he doesn't need the energy. So I think I'll give him Sack Jade. Nobody has Sack Jade. I know, but it's fine. We get Sack Jade main stat, substats. That's basically it for the baseline. Bro. Damage percent. We could use the event weapon, I guess, but that's kind of annoying. Damage percent, it's like 28, 25, 20, 25, whatever. 25 average from this shit. Goblet, Maréchaussée. How much of his motion value is not from normal or from charge? It's about 20%. So times 80%. This times 80%. Crit value. Crit Ascension, main stat, substat, weapon, 38.4. No, 36.8. Set bonus, 36. Yep. And then buffed stuff. So what do we have? We have Hydro Resonance. That's it for the HP buffs, right? God. We're really cooked because of this, huh? Oh well. What else? Damage percent, we have Farina with an average of like, I think 250 average is fine. Because Farina Burst runs out before things are over on Nvidia, but he maxes it out very early. We have, I mean, we look at the old Nvidia Hyper, right? Kazuha Shilonen. So 40% from Kazuha on Iron Sting. 40% from Cinder City. And that's it, right? Res multiplier, we have 76 shred, so 133%. The increase from support is fucking embarrassing. Yeah, no surprise there. Then we look at Neuvillette. Yeah, maybe I'll just say Nev instead of Neuvillette. And put it back to 80. Nev. Is that Kazuha Shilonen? Yeah. I mean, honestly, just Nev, Kazuha Shilonen. And Neuvillette. Hyper Bloom. Base is the same. Buffs. This is the same. Damage percent. We lose Cinder City. We lose Kazuha stuff. Shred. We only have 25 from Llama. So so we have 15. So 107.5. Yeah. What's another team other than just a like hyper one where that actually kind of focuses on Neuvillette personal damage? I guess the freeze one, right? Neuvillette, Escoffier, Seat Lolly. So HP percent is the same, flat is the same, total. Okay. Damage percent. We still have Farina, we still have Cinder City, we don't have the passive from that. Instead of 76 shred, we have 75 shred. So instead of 133, it's 132.5. Big deal. Yeah. Like, this is why Freeze Neuvillette is just way better than Hyper Neuvillette. Because you're getting almost the same amount of buffing, but you get an extra character that's doing something. But yeah, the way that HP buffers or HP scalers are balanced, there's... If you had an HP buffer that gives HP equivalent to the amount of attack provided by the attack buffers, characters like Nevilette would skyrocket in value. But that's just not a thing they do. I don't know if they'll ever do it. They might actually start doing that at some point. Like, that's something they could do if they want to bring back those HP scalers properly. Make people want to play Nevilette again. Anyway, so we're gonna do Milani now. The adjusted EM multiplier for Milani is just gonna be the EM multiplier. Because she vapes everything. Nevilette still has insane motion values to this day. He just doesn't have hyper carry teams as synergistic as others. I mean, it's not that Nevilette has insane motion values. Because, like, there's no real point of comparison for Nevilette's motion value. Like, we don't have any other carries that are HP scalers that aren't focused on reactions like Milani. So we don't have, like, a conversion ratio of HP motion value to attack motion value, the same way that we have for other stats. You compare HP times motion value and attack times motion value. I mean, yeah, but the total HP that you have is going to be different from the total attack that you have in terms of how it compares to base, because the access to buff is different, right? But, like, that's not because they haven't done it yet. It could be because they don't want to do it. Because, like, honestly, I could see it. Like, changing your total HP in combat is weird. Because there's no way of making it feel natural as, like, in a way where it won't feel like you're healing from increasing max HP or taking damage from reducing max HP once your buff expires. We already have effects that do it. They're very rare. And most of them are permanent. Like, they don't dynamically change in combat. I think Yalon C4 is the only one that changes in combat. Maybe there's another one I'm not thinking of. Like, I don't remember all the cons by heart. Chilonin C2. Oh yeah, that one too. Hydro Resonance. Hydro Resonance doesn't get deactivated mid-combat, though. Sack Jade. I guess Sack Jade, but Sack Jade is kind of weird, because in order to activate it, you have to be off-field. So the feeling of having your HP end up healed or taken, like, it's not really there because it happens off-field. Same for Farina's C2. It happens off-field as well. Well, it happens off, but Farina's off-field, so, like, yeah. And then if you look at Farina's C6, which is on-field, then at that point, she's healing anyway, so it doesn't really change anything. Anyways, Milani motion value. So she's got... What Milani team should we look at? I guess Hexerai with Moika. So 14.76, 7.38 times 3, 36.89. We get 2.5. And then the burst which I think gets all of these, because I think the stack duration refreshes. Because usually when it doesn't, they say stacks get calculated independently. So it's 99.35. No, 0.35 plus 45. Vate every other rotation. Okay. Rotation length in these teams is 18. Base HP for Molani is 15,185. HP percent baseline. You can't run Sack Jade with this character. So plus 50. No. So we don't have that. Flat. Total. I guess you would do HP Goblet generally though. But you can, but kinda. Or some motion values percentages, some decimal numbers. That Excel is being annoying. Damage percent baseline is really low here if we go HP Goblet because all the damage percent is external, but whatever. We have 15 from Codex. That's it, right? I guess we have 16 from Witsith. Crit value. Main stat. Wait, I just realized I didn't give the Car Resonance here. Plus 15% times 2 times, I don't know, like 50% uptime-ish. It's kind of fake, but like it's also not. Let's be honest, you're not playing Neuvillette against bosses, you're playing him in Abyss. So you do get the Crown Resonance. Anyways, Ascension, main stat, substat, weapon 55.1. Set bonus 40. Elemental Mastery. 80. Because again, just like the damage percent, you get it all externally. Res multiplier, base stats, base DPS. All right. We get Hydro Resonance. Then for damage percent, we get Omen. We get Cinder City. We get Mawika. We get Sucrose Hex passive. I think that's it? Question mark? Ooh. Bounty. Right, we get Bounty now. Or Gift. True. Does that mean that Damage Gauntlet is still better? No. HP Gauntlet is better with this setup. Okay, bet. Have you added Mono Omen? Yeah. First thing I did. The 60 right here. Crit value doesn't really change. Mono C4 is fake. Let's be so for real. Elemental Mastery. We get 80 from Mona C2. We get 80 from Witsith. We get 50 from the Sucrose passive, and then 20% of her EM, which is going to be 187 times 3 plus 221 plus, so 900. Anything else? No. Yeah, multiplier. We get the extra 15% from Mona's C1. Because we're looking at C2 Mona. Res multiplier. We have 115%. But yeah. And you have a percentage increase from support that's really fucking high. Right? Like, this is why, despite just their baseline motion value, actually, like, Nvidia having more than Milani, the fact that she vapes doesn't just double her damage, right? Because, like, without the vape here, her motion value is, like, embarrassingly low, right? Oops, I didn't remove it on... Right, like, it's not even half. But the fact that she vapes unlocks Elemental Mastery as a useful stat. And as you can see here, the EM multiplier is almost ×2. Your alternatives, because there's no HP Bennett for a character like Neuvillette, are just yet another kind of pathetic damage percent buffer. All of this just because we actually have proper EM buffers and we don't have HP buffers. Like, if we got a proper HP buffer, Milani wouldn't benefit that much from it. Because all of the slots in her team are pretty strong. All the characters in her team, like, they're justifying their presence. Whereas in Neuvillette teams, that's just not the case, right? In the Neuvillette Hyper with Kazuha Shilonen, you're just so much better off. Like, you're basically running double Shilonen, and Shilonen already kind of isn't that good, right? The weak link in Milani teams is the Pyro. Imagine if we got a Pyro HP buffer. I mean, we wouldn't, I feel. Like, that's not really thematically appropriate for Pyro. But it's not like Mawika's bad. Like, we need to understand, okay? In Milani teams, Mawika is providing you with the Pyro application you need for your reactions and more damage percent than Farina. And also, like, 10% of the team's DPS just because her burst nuke, even if it's not that, even if it's completely unbuffed, is still a nice little chunk of damage. Mawika is a side grade to PMC. Yeah, and PMC is also pretty solid. Like, your weakest link is the reacting character, but you compare two reacting characters that aren't weakest links, like Sitlali and a Mawika team, and honestly, like, Sitlali's not that much better than these characters, these Pyro characters in Vape teams. She's a bit better, but it's really not that big of a gap. Because generally, characters that are designed to enable your reactions, that's part of their power budget, right? And they'll provide weaker buffs because of that. But yeah, it feels like we could kind of, like, multiply the HP motion value by 20 and divide the effective HP by 20 if we want to compare, if we wanted to compare it to attack scalars. Probably not. Maybe more like 10. I don't know. Like, realistically, it's probably 15, right? Character base HP is, for the HP scalars, around 15,000. And base attack for attack scalers with SIGs or like the good 4-star weapons ranges between 800 and 1,000. So it's like between 15 and 20, but I don't know, man. There we go. I can probably remove one digit here. I could do Arlecchino, but Arlecchino calcs are kind of just annoying to do, honestly. Because there's so many moving pieces to the way that our teams are played. Kaniche? We can look at Kaniche, actually. Sure. Kaniche. 5E. Yonson. Nicole. Durin. I don't want to do 2 Kanichis. 1 is going to be enough. And I think I'll assume 50% uptime on Scroll. Because most people won't be getting it reliably, but even if you don't get it reliably, you'll sometimes get it by accident. Or maybe I could just assume Noblesse instead. I don't know. Okay, motion value. 1168.65 times 5. 97.38 times 2. 7 total? 8 total? It's actually reliable when a how is out. Yeah, but you don't have a however rotation. This team is solo Dendro Kaniche, and you don't want to build ER on him, so... Yeah. It's probably 7-ish average. And then we have the passive. Plus 320. And this team gets 1.5 Night Soul burst per rotation. And then we have the burst, which is going to be 227.8 every like 3 rotations, plus 205.25. It hits 6 times every 3 rotations. Which means that buffs that are only to the on-field are 95%. Oops. Okay. Rotation length in this team. Is that a 20-second team? I feel like it's a 20-second. Well, maybe not. I don't know. It's gonna be weird, because, like... I think you want to run TTDS Nicole, but you don't want to do a 20-second rotation. It's kind of annoying, huh? $19-ish, maybe. Let's actually take a look. What are we calcing? I just got back. We're still looking at the like comparison of a bunch of characters with their motion values and total stats. I'll probably be doing this for the next couple days. Nicole Burst. You don't want to use Nicole Burst. It doesn't do very much for your damage. And it's a really long animation. For what it does. Kanich, Yeon-san. Placeholder for Nicole Duran.
I charge a higher rate to meet outside the office.
Is Nicole and no Duran good? Nicole is a lot worse if you don't get the Hexarai bonus from the new set. So it's not great in general. Anyways, I mean, first rotation is cooked. I know that, but it's fine.
Controlled breathing.
Turning point in.
Boom boom.
Target acquired. Claim these souls.
Oh, fuck.
The dead would blaze in dragonfire.
Okay, so that's pretty much 18 seconds. Should be fine. Because Nicole animation, if you don't do the burst. Don't you want to battery Nicole particles of Duran? I don't think you do. I think TTDS is better. Like, TTDS every other rotation is probably better than battering the particles of Duran. Base on Kanich. I'm stupid. 332. 510. Attack percent. 46.6. Baseline. 20 substats.
Over my calorie budget so far.
He doesn't have any self-stat buffs, right?
Dinner plans to get back
Yeah.
on track.
So that's it. Flat, 350 total. Yeah. Damage percent. Codex. Goblet. Spine. That's it. Crit value. Ascension, main stat, substat. Weapon. Codex. That's it. Yup. Yeah. Alright. Then if we look at the adjusted stats with everything else here, we have percentage attack buffs. You have TDDS every other rotation. You have Power Resonance. You have Eons on C2. No Noblesse here. We have Deepwood Bounty Scroll. Flat attack, you have 810. You have about 420 from Nicole. Damage percent. We have Bounty. We have Eons on C6. And we have about half uptime on Scroll. That's it, I think. Yeah. And then resistance multiplier, we have 65 shred, so 1.275.
One more set.
Yeah. This makes sense, I think. Right? When I was doing my Kanich calcs, Is that Kinich? No. That's Venti. That's funny. That's definitely not Kinich. Maybe they're to the left. Okay, it looks like they were to the left. GG. Oh, I saw Emilino. That's Lohen. Wait, it might be here. No, it's not. I'll find them. It'll be fine. Kinich, there we go. Oh, that was what I did for for the there it is. I don't have 99 in this one. 89 here. I guess that was a bit more generous for the assumptions on this, right? Yeah. Well, this was Old Sworn.
People seem to think I was born with super strength, but look at me. This tiny frame is what my genetics gave me. All my strength comes from consistent training with good
Why is it
technique.
1.2?
Put in the same work, and you can absolutely get the same results.
Okay, I'm confused. What did I clearly fucked something up. Mmm. I forgot the 300 attack. Wait, I think I forgot it before as well. For the Varka team. And for the Raiden team.
You haven't quite hit your reps for today. Come on, one more set.
I guess Raiden doesn't fucking get it, though. Is that true? Raiden burst animation is real fucking long. Maybe she does get it. It's fine. She can use the help, man. Let's be nice to her. And then Varka. I gave it to Varka already. Okay. So it was just a... Okay. And then the 300... You can kind of get it for everything. Okay, yeah. And now it's basically the same. That makes more sense. Got it. I'm gonna fucking leave this because I'm getting very annoyed by the... Like, we get it, Yansan. You're thirsty. Have some fucking water and then, like, shut up. Would you? So 20% for scroll makes it... Yeah, because you're not proccing the scroll every rotation in practice most of the time. Like, you can, it's possible, but I think most people don't. Oh, did I do 20% divided by 2? I did. Caught? Okay, so it's 40% divided by 2. Okay. It's not possible first rotation. It is if you open with burst, but that's kind of annoying and cringe. Can just doing pretty similar damage to Overload Combo Moika? Yeah, but like... I don't know. Kenichi is getting a pretty big upscale, you know? Can you check Noblesse on? It'll just be worse. Because it's pretty bad uptime. I think that's gonna be it for now, though. I'm getting a little tired. The gold buff takes 3 seconds to apply to the on-fielder. It's only the plus 300 that takes 3 seconds to apply. The rest applies instantly and to the whole team. I don't think I have any video to post, so let's see if we can rate anyone. Bro, there's fucking no one playing Genshin right now. No STS today, first time chatter. Holy. Holy. New audience acquired. Maybe I will do. You know what? Fuck it. I'll do one STS run. We might as well. Like, why not? Only one. I will become good at this game one day for sure. Just one game. Alright. I was fucking around with trying to win without playing any attacks.